What's up? What's going on, you guys? This is Rance Hayes, and I just wanted to talk to you guys today about how you can optimize your energy. Now, I know a lot of people today are struggling with ongoing fatigue, and it's really no surprise because there are a lot of variables that are contributing to us feeling like we don't have as much energy as we used to, or enough energy to do the things that we want to do at a high level every single day. There are a lot of contributing factors that we have to take into consideration. Today, I'm going to focus on three primary factors, and hopefully I'll be able to provide you guys with some solutions so that you can begin optimizing your energy and have more free-flowing energy to do the things that you want to do, to live life more fully, and to have a better experience. The three factors that I'm going to cover today are our environment, social media or the media in general, and then our behavior. So first and foremost, when you're looking at your energy, if you're operating every single day and you feel like your energy is just depleted, one of the first places that you should look is in your environment. So when I talk about your environment, specifically what I mean is, who are you interacting with every single day? Whether it's family members or friends, coworkers, in your personal life or your professional life, you really want to take the initiative and vet as many of these people as possible. Now, I understand that if you have family members who are energy vampires, they're kind of hard to get away from, but listen, you don't have to continuously expose yourself to people that don't reciprocate good energy, whether they're in your family or not. Now, at work, you may not have the opportunity to get away from people who drain your energy consistently. And in those cases, you just need to be a little bit more strategic. I haven't worked in a corporation or for a company in many years, and part of the reason why I choose not to is because I don't really want to expose myself to people who play silly political games and have underlying agendas and do everything in their power to disrupt my flow. For those of you who work for a company, you have a 9-to-5 job, we have to show up every single day, you work for other people, you may not have the opportunity to just, avoid these people. In that case, the question that you should be asking yourself is that if you're working in an environment that's not conducive to your mental well-being, is it the right place for you to work? Because there are a lot of jobs out there. There are a lot of opportunities for you to create an income for yourself without exposing yourself to all the negativity. So just something to consider. I know that this is easier said than done, but at the end of the day, you are responsible for your well-being. And that means that you have to really look at your entire life and see, where are the gaps? Where in your life are you spending time where you're interacting with and engaging with people who don't reciprocate good energy? And to be perfectly honest with you, whether we're talking about your personal environment or your professional environment, you have to make a decision, because you're going to spend most of your time in these environments around these people. When I went through my depression and I almost lost everything, when I came out on the other side of that depression, I made a vow to myself that I would no longer subject myself to people that didn't respect or appreciate me, that couldn't treat me decently the way that I treat other people. So part of this is just recognizing what your standards are, right? And sticking to that and making sure that the people around you have enough love and respect and appreciation for you to help you uphold those standards. If they can't uphold those standards in your presence, then it's time for you to make a decision. And to be honest, if you continue to subject yourself to that environment, that's a choice. So some of these decisions are not going to be easy. You've got to make the hard decisions in life to create the kind of lifestyle that you want. At the end of the day, it's really important for you to understand that you are the curator of your environment. You're the author of your story. So if you don't want to be subjected to people's ill-mannered behavior, then remove yourself from those environments, right? Even if it means that for a period of time, you have to scrape your butt on the ground because you're transitioning into a new situation. Hey, trust me, I've been there. It's well worth it, because when you come out on the other side, you end up being in a space that I'm in right now, where I have carefully curated my environment And now all of the people that I interact with every day are on my frequency. They uphold the standard. They love, appreciate, and respect me. So we don't have to fight about things that are unnecessary. I don't have to worry about the people in my life operating with an underlying agenda. Nobody is trying to stab me in the back because we're all on the same frequency. And I went through a lot of repositioning myself to ensure that I could have the kind of lifestyle that I have today. And you can do the same for yourself. When we talk about stress, overwhelm, burnout, fatigue, one of the primary contributors to all of these, low frequency feelings is social media and the media in general. There's a lot going on in the world right now. And one of the things that I learned very early on that I'm very pleased about is that I learned not to pay attention to the media. There are a lot of things that you can learn online without having to expose yourself to the sensational news cycle on any major network. And then there's a lot that you can avoid just by not spending too much time on social media. By now, we're all aware that social media was designed to be an addictive platform. They created it specifically in a way to keep us scrolling all day long, ingesting nonsense, just so long as we're viewing their ads and they get more money every single day, right? But never mind the impact that it has on us, right? So it's up to us as the consumers to be savvy enough, to be smart enough to understand what we're subjecting ourselves to every single day. So very simply, I'll keep this one short. My recommendation for you guys when it comes to social media and the media, only utilize social media or any kind of internet platform for your business needs. If you're interacting with friends and family, that's one thing. But if you're on social media and you're ingesting all of that nonsense, it is going to impact you whether you realize it or not. It's specifically designed to keep you trapped on their platforms. So you have to make a personal decision. Again, how much time am I going to spend exposing myself to things that aren't conducive to my energy? How much power do I have in this? You don't have to be on social media. I know people that their jobs don't rely on them interacting with people online or on social media. So therefore, they've deleted their social media apps and their lives are markedly better because they've deleted the one thing in their life that is just constantly exposing them to things that trigger them emotionally or, trigger you psychologically and keep you engaged in conversations and on posts that have nothing to do with nothing. So when it comes to social media, my recommendation is that you're a lot more thoughtful about how you're spending your time. If your business is not on social media or doesn't rely on social media, then my recommendation is that you don't use it at all. You don't really need it. If you feel like you want to go on social media, then just be aware of the fact that there is real data that shows that these platforms were designed to keep you trapped. They're mouse traps, they're time sucks. They're designed to reconfigure your brain, to take your energy away from you, to distract you from doing the things that are more fulfilling. Like, what's more fulfilling than spending hours on social media? You could be out in a park with your family. You could go on a hike with your family. You could be working out. If you're in California, you can be at a beach. You could be in the mountains. There are so many other things that you could do. You could read a book. How about that? There are so many things that you can do that actually give you energy as opposed to just depleting from you, which is exactly what these platforms are designed for. So at the end of the day, it's a personal decision, but just you can't act like you're naive or unaware anymore. We all know that social media has very negative impacts on everything about us, all of our humanity. The last thing that I recommend for social media, your use of social media, is that you audit the amount of time that you spend on social media. Now, the same thing happens when people audit their food intake or their exercise, or you look at your finances every month. Once you get that real view, that real clear view of your behavior, then you can't claim ignorance anymore. You can't go around saying, oh, I don't know why I'm so tired, or oh, I don't know why I'm so stressed out, or I don't know where all my time went, because it's right there in front of you. right? And then once you have that information, then you have a decision to make. You're either going to continue engaging in that behavior, or you're going to cut out a lot of the time that you're spending unnecessarily on social media. Just that little behavior, that little shift in honestly acknowledging the amount of time that you spend, and then taking a closer look at how you're spending your time on social media, just doing that little exercise alone is going to help you to begin freeing up more energy for yourself. Because once you see that, it's just like your finances. If you see that you've been making bad financial decisions month after month after month, and it's in your face, you can't argue with anybody about it, you can't point your finger at anybody else, then it's your responsibility to start making some changes so that you can get more money. And the same thing with your energy. If you want more energy, you gotta understand, energy begets energy. So the more energy you pour into yourself, the more you get out, right? The more energy you pour into these life-sucking mechanisms, the more you lose energy. So at the end of the day, get really clear about how you're spending your time, and then step forward and make some powerful decisions so that you can reclaim more of your energy. Now, last but not least, let's talk about our behaviors. This is the part that I love the most, because this is where we have the most control. You see, every single day, you have an opportunity to optimize your energy or deplete your energy. Depends on how you want to operate. Now, you and I both know as adults that there are things that we engage in every single day that aren't conducive to high energy performance living, right? For example, if you want to have a lot of energy at the beginning of the day, you want to make sure that you get sufficient rest the night before. If you're a night owl, the kind of person that likes to stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I strongly advise that you start looking into all the negative effects of not getting sufficient rest. I'm not going to lay them all out here today. I don't have enough time. But just to understand that there are numerous negative effects of not sleeping effectively every single night. And all that we're talking about is 6 to 8 hours of sleep consistently. So when it comes to sleep, it's a lot like owning an electric car. You know, at night you charge your car so that it can perform more effectively the next day. The exact same thing happens with our bodies and our minds. If you get sufficient rest every single day, then your body and your mind are primed to perform at the highest levels. If you have insufficient rest, if you've slept, a couple of hours, then you're gonna struggle all day long to get to your baseline. And considering all of the things that we're inundated with, the things that I mentioned in the previous topics, it only makes sense that when we have the opportunity to take control, that we choose to do the right thing to optimize our energy. Because think of it this way, if you don't sleep, if you don't get enough rest, if your body and your mind are compromised at the beginning of the day, how much more compromised are you gonna be when you start exposing yourself to the outside world? You get in your car, you drive to work, there's some crazy fool driving 130 miles on the freeway, almost runs you and your family off the road. You start off your day like that, and then as you guys know, it snowballs into a bigger, less manageable problem, and that usually at some point during the day you have some sort of implosion, right? So it's really important for you to understand, first and foremost, the most important thing that I can do, that I have the most control over, is to make sure that I get to bed at a reasonable hour, to make sure that I get 6 to 8 hours of rest. That's gonna set you up for success right at the beginning of the day. Now, you know that you're fatigued and probably overwhelmed if you've got to suck down multiple cups of coffee every single day just to function. In reality, if you get sufficient rest, right, you wake up in the morning, you rehydrate yourself, drink 12 to 24 ounces of water, then throughout the day, you should only need about 1 cup of coffee or tea at the most. Aside from that, your energy should come from your food and your hydration. So you've gotten sufficient rest. Then throughout the day, what's gonna fuel you is the food that you eat and the liquid that you consume, that you ingest, right? If you drink sugar-laden drinks all day long or caffeinated drinks all day long, then you're just spiking your energy just so that you can crash. You're on a roller coaster all day long. Your energy is unstable. It's unsustainable. It requires artificial external sources for you to thrive. But the reality, you guys, is that your body is sufficient enough if you just take care of it. Your body will provide you with the energy that you need to perform at a high level if you actually fuel it with what it needs. So when you wake up in the morning, first thing that you do is properly hydrate yourself, because as we sleep, we dehydrate, right? After you do that, whenever you eat, I like to fast in the morning. I don't like to eat right away. I tend to have more energy if I fast, and I also just feel better. So I don't eat anything until about 11 o'clock. Once I do eat, I make sure that I'm eating food that's conducive to my energy. Right? I don't want to eat a lot of fried, refined foods, a lot of processed foods. You want to eat food that is as close to the earth as possible. And make sure that you're conscious about what you're eating. You're not just shoveling food into your mouth because you've got to get onto your next work project. If you do have a busy job like that, I have clients who have a hard time getting air during the day. If that's the case, then you've got to plan. You've got to prepare, right? If you know that this is your job, this is where you show up every day, it's busy, you understand what the circumstances are, then it's up to you to take the initiative to prepare good food for yourself. So that as you're eating throughout the day, when you eat lunch, you're eating food that's conducive to high energy. What does that mean? It means that you're eating food that's easy for your body to break down. You're eating food that is nutrient dense. When we talk about fruits and vegetables, you should be eating fruits and vegetables that are dark. The dark rind is nutrient dense. The darker rinds are more nutrient dense. If it's closer to the earth, has some dirt on it, it's gonna be more nutrient dense. The less processed it is, the better it's gonna be for you, right? If it's not fried, it's better for you. These are things that we all generally know, but we don't practice. And then we go throughout our day and we wonder why we're crashing all the time, why we don't have any energy, why we feel sick, right? Think of yourself as a high-grade vehicle. If you're a high-grade vehicle, you're not gonna put American grade gasoline in your car. You know that American gas station on the corner that nobody likes to go to at a certain time of night? Stop putting that stuff in your system. You're a high grade vehicle. Put high grade premium fuel in your tank all day long, and your body will have a better opportunity to operate at the highest levels. So the key here again with your food intake is prioritize eating food that is as close to the earth as possible. Make sure that you're conscious of what you're ingesting every single day. Don't just shovel stuff into your mouth because you don't have enough time to think about what you're doing. That's how you really get into trouble. If you don't have time at work and you know that, those are the circumstances, then make sure that you prepare. Prepare meals for yourself every single day so that you can go into work and regardless of the circumstances, ensure that you're nourishing yourself with the highest grade food possible. The last two components I want to talk to you guys about today are your flexibility and your exercise. So, when it comes to flexibility, a lot of people don't associate flexibility with energy, but the reality is this. Think of it this way. When your body is tight, when you're deconditioned or when you're injured, your body is going to do everything in its capacity to repair that injury. But you have to realize that if your body is taking that energy to repair you, to heal an injury, and this is why we're so tired when we have a major injury, because it takes a lot of energy to repair the body. Most of the time we're repairing our body at night when we sleep. But when you have an injury and you're dealing with that throughout the day, so for example, let's say you have persistent back pain, not only is it mentally distracting, it's also physically and energetically depleting. So it's really important for you to prioritize flexibility, especially as we get older. You want to open up your range of motion. You want to have full access to your range of motion, and you want to make sure that your circulation is optimal, right? Blood and oxygen flowing to the muscles effectively is going to help them repair faster and more effectively, and it's going to help you feel better in general. So flexibility should be at the top of your priority list every single day, especially if you're over 40. I know you know what I'm talking about right now. Your body is going to start to feel really uncomfortable if you're not stretching on a regular basis. Most people struggle with neck, shoulder, and back and knee injuries as we get older. Those are the primary areas that people struggle with: lower back, knees, shoulders, and neck. So there are some simple things that you guys can do. I'm going to leave you guys with some exercises that you can start doing every single day to help loosen up your body, increase your range of motion in that circulation. But the proper protocol that I want you guys to follow, anytime you have any tension or an aggravated muscle, first things first, you're going to do 10 to 15 minutes of low impact cardio. Low impact means a brisk walk. That's it. You're not jumping up and down, nothing high impact. Super low impact, 10 to 15 minutes just to get your circulation up. Then you're gonna foam roll or use trigger point release. If you're not familiar with trigger point release, basically you can use a lacrosse ball, or there are different tools that we utilize, like a small roller where you can put in tighter areas of your body to loosen up the muscles. But at the end of the day, the objective with foam rolling and trigger point release is the same. It's myofascial release. We want to loosen up the fascia around the muscle so that you can stretch it more effectively. The last thing that you're going to do after you foam roll is you're going to stretch, because now you've increased your circulation, you've loosened up the fascia, and now you can stretch so that the muscles just don't return to their tight state right after you stretch. I know you've experienced this before when your body is super tight. You stretch for a couple of minutes, you feel good for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and then your body goes right back to that tight state again. That's because you haven't followed the proper protocol. So remember, first things first, 10 to 15 minutes of low impact cardio, second, foam roll or trigger point release, and third, stretch effectively. Now, as a sadist, this is my favorite part. This is where the magic sauce is. The secret sauce is in movement. It's in strength training. It's in the stuff that everybody is avoiding all the time. Again, I said it earlier, energy begets energy. Understand that. This is a very important principle to understand. Oftentimes when we're tired, what do we want to do? We want to shrink, we want to disappear, we want to go lay down somewhere, right? The last thing we want to do when we're tired is move. But what people often don't understand is that if you want more energy, you need to use more energy. Here's how it works. Your body is equipped for adaptation, right? Progressive adaptation. So if you place your body under a certain amount of stress over a period of time, your body is going to change to accommodate that new pressure. So if you're consistently tired and you don't work out ever, the first thing that I would say is start working out. Start moving on a regular basis. You don't have to work out the way that I do, but you need to start doing something. This is what I would do if I had to start all over again. If I was completely broken down, deconditioned, and fatigued, the first thing that I would do is I would go to the gym, and I'd make a commitment to go to the gym every single day for 2 weeks just to do cardio and flexibility. Nothing else. Don't place any other expectations on yourself. Just start there. The reason why that's so important, even if your goal is to build lean muscle mass, the reason it's so important for you to start with cardio is because you need to increase your circulation. If you're sedentary, you've been sitting around a lot, it's gonna impact your energy. Like I said earlier, the most immediate impact that you can have is just move in some capacity. And the safest way to do that is to do some low impact cardio, right? Do low impact cardio for 30 to 40 minutes, 5 to 6 days a week, right? Make sure that as soon as you're done doing that cardio, you follow the protocol that I recommended. So it's cardio first, then you're gonna foam roll, then you're gonna do your flexibility, right? That is gonna allow your body to feel so much better. I can't tell you how much better you're gonna feel once you just commit to doing that every single day. Start there first. If you have enough energy after you've done the cardio and after you've stretched to do some core training, then do some core training. If you have enough energy to do some body weight training, then do some body weight training. But in the beginning of your program, don't worry about the weights, don't worry about exercise bands, just make the commitment to move your body consistently. And minimize the pressure that you put on yourself. You're not racing anybody but yourself. So take your time, optimize your lung capacity, optimize your circulation, increase your range of motion and your flexibility, right? Get back to a healthy baseline in all of those areas. And then you can start focusing on incorporating outside resistance, right? But don't overwhelm yourself in the beginning by thinking that you need to do the workout that you did 20 years ago. Don't overwhelm yourself or get discouraged because you're not able to do what you did when you were younger. This isn't about that. This is about acknowledging where you are right now and giving yourself the opportunity to get a little bit better every single day.